I was at the New York Rangers ice hockey game, and this song played as their intro as they came out, and I was like, cool. I mean, that's
Kind of
where
it makes sense, isn't it?
It's a sports song,
Yeah,
so like it's not a song that's made to be a Hot 100 hit. It's kind of cool seeing like ice hockey players sort of come out, and it was cool.
Hey guys, I can't see shit up here. You're all backlit. Ed and I have known each other a long time. I don't even know how long at this point, but 12, 13 years, I think.
Yeah.
Something like that. We met on Jingle Ball tours.
Yeah, 2012.
Yeah. It's been a long time. And Blake, I've known a little bit less, but maybe about the same amount of time.
Still like 10 years.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've even told you this, but I used to intern at a studio that Ryan used to work at, and I definitely got you coffee a couple times.
You did?
Yeah. I went to Earth Cafe and got you some sandwiches.
I appreciate that. All right. Yeah, that's awesome. And we've all had hits. Ed and I had a hit together, and Blake and I had a hit together.
What was your song together?
That's what I want, Lil Nas X.
I want someone to love me.
Great.
Yeah.
I got him coffee during that session too.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I paid for Joe and the Juice, but sure. However you remember it, God bless. All right, so I've never moderated anything in my life, but I'm never short for words, so I'm going to rip through this. How much time do we have, by the way? Anybody know? 40 hours? 40 minutes.
Just tell us when to stop.
Okay. I'm going to kick this off with some questions, and then if we have time, we might do some fan questions as well as a bonus. For Ed, how did the pace, scale, and energy of F1 influence musical decisions like tempo, structure, or dynamics?
For anyone that's watched the movie, it is fucking full on. Like it's like 2 hours, 30 minutes of just full, pedal to the metal. So I knew that sometimes when people ask me to do songs for movies, I think they want me to do the kind of like acoustic singer-songwriter love song thing. But when I was asked to do a song for this, I was like, I don't think that's what they're asking for this time. So I think it was very much that the first scene of the film starts with Whole Lot of Love. And there's very much a kind of like a big riff, a big rock riff. And I think that when we were making a song for it, we wanted a big rock riff that essentially, the song needed to explode in parts. And I don't know, really.
You wrote it for the scene.
We wrote it for the end scene, yeah. The end scene. There was talk of it being in the first scene as well, but I think...
I know.
Yeah.
No, it's awesome. Okay, you've written for films before. I'm just going to... A few questions for you, then I'm going to pass over to Blake. You've written for films before. What have you learned about leaving space for picture versus making a song that still works on its own? That is the needle to thread, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know what? I've only done 3-ish film songs. I say 3-ish because I did like one for a British animated movie, but it was like such a small part of the song that it doesn't really count as doing a song for a movie. But I did a song for Fault in Our Stars. I've done a song for this, and I did a song for The Hobbit. And I think that all of those, the songs had to work in the movies. And I wasn't too bothered if they worked outside of the movies, if that makes sense. I was like, they have to work within the scene of the film, especially like the Hobbit one. Like a song about dwarves and dragons and wizards and stuff doesn't necessarily live outside of... I mean, it has lived outside quite well, but I wasn't expecting that to be played on Z100 or whatever. It just had to sort of work in the film. And very much with this, like, I don't think that Drive is a song that like... could go side by side with a song on my album because it's such a like stylistically different song, but it works so well in the movie in the way that we did it for the movie. So I think that if you're making a song for a movie, you kind of have to like not have the lens of pop on it and more the lens of how is it going to work in the movie rather than how is it going to work outside the movie. Because you might as well make a song that just works outside a movie and not make the song for the movie. if that's what you're concerned about, don't make a song for a movie, basically.
It's also a bit of a hall pass too, I find, don't you think? Making songs for movies.
Yeah, I would never be able to release a song like this and have people. When this song came out, everyone was like, ugh, and they were like, oh, it's for F1. All right, I get that. Yeah.
That's why I love songs and movies.
We had been trying to make something like this though, because we made this while we were working on Ed's album, and people don't realize. I mean, Ed plays stadiums everywhere he goes. He's a rock star, truly. And you never really had like a rock banger to play in the studio. And there was a couple times where we tried to make rock songs because it was like, well, you're going to be going to play stadiums. Might as well make a song we can light fireworks to. And it never really worked because it wasn't, stylistically used. So this was like the perfect excuse to do that.
Is there a mindset or any habits you found essential when collaborating on music for film and TV?
I think the mindset is basically like stick to I'm sure you're a songwriter that makes songs for movies as well, and you'll know it's sometimes when we go into the studio, the most difficult thing is to think of what to write about or how to write about it. But the beautiful thing about movies is it's kind of there for you. You just have to like accentuate the scene with a song, and it's quite easy to do when the story's there, the scene's there, the feel's there. And I think just stick to the script and try and make the scene better rather than try and make something and like force it in. So yeah, it's actually like a relatively quick process because there's no like, what do we write about today? How do I feel about this? Because it's more like what he feels about it and how it works within the scene.
I actually think it's, in a way, it's de-stressing. On when I'm doing a session or a day that I know is focused for a film, I like getting prescriptive sometimes because, like to your point, the hardest thing when you've been an artist as long as you have, or myself or whatever, you get to a point where sometimes you get cynical and almost like, I'm tired of hearing myself sing about myself. What can I write about today?
Yeah.
That's not territory that I've already covered 5 times. And then you get the movie call, and you're like, thank God. It's like,
well, yeah, and I mean, I would say I get like 3 or 4 movie calls a year, and it's usually like I don't know if that's going to work. And I think what was like interesting about this is it was so different stylistically to what, and I wasn't being asked to do what I'm known for. They were like, do what you want and choose the scene that you want for. So that was what kind of drew me to it. And also being a fan of the sport itself. And I just think the movie as well, it's been talked about so much for the last 4 years that it had built up this kind of aura around it. And yeah, it felt pretty cool to be involved.
That's awesome. Blake, what's a production choice that feels small? I like this question, by the way, a lot. Whoever wrote this, good job. What's a production choice that feels small in paper but makes a huge difference in how a song hits on screen? Or specific to your song, maybe. Maybe
Yeah, well,
the tiny little production changes, whether it's like...
Well, I have the session here, so we should go through it. And
Why don't we do it?
We'll get into it. But before we do, I'll say I think the movie informs all of it. And I was inspired by how granular and detail-oriented Joe and everyone who worked on F1 got. I heard that when they were editing the sound for it, they would have a race car making a turn sound, and Lewis Hamilton would watch it and say, that's the wrong sound, that's shifting from 4th to 5th gear, and if he was shifting on this turn, it would be in 3rd gear, so you have to do that. And it's like, those little details matter so much. So that inspired me to want to produce so detail-oriented, but to the movie. So when we were making this song, I normally work in pop music, and pop music is very on the grid time-wise and very polished. And because of where it was in the movie, the end title, because it was supposed to kind of represent Sonny and his whole journey, I wanted to keep it as raw as possible. And I wanted you to feel the band in the room. And I wanted to not time anything and just be like, let's just get the best fucking players in the entire world to play on this. And I'm not going to have to like clean anything up and keep it raw like that. So I'll go into the session and I'll show you. So you can look at, here, we have the drums here. So on the drums is Dave Grohl from Nirvana and the Foo Fighters. And he's literally one of the greatest drummers of all time.
Easily.
I'll also say when you're working on a movie like F1, you're afforded such cool calls because you can just text Dave Grohl and be like, hey, you want to work on F1? And he's down. And
Unlimited budgets are fun too.
yeah. No, he did it for free. He was just excited. And we were also excited about this. And when there's so much excitement around something, musicians are just, it's just a cool thing to be a part of. So let's look at the drums over here. You can see, so I'll play all the demos before, or after, but you can see on the grid over here that Dave is he's really pushing, and you can see here. So here's a kick drum. This is the line of where it's supposed to be. That's way before, so that means he's really early. So when I was doing the demos, we had a different drummer playing, and I felt slow, and I didn't know if we wanted to speed the song up. And then as soon as Dave played on it, it was like, nope, that's the perfect tempo. And that's because he felt that it should be a little faster, and he kind of pushed, and then Pino pushed a little bit into it, and then all of that kind of it worked perfectly. So it's those really little details. Normally in pop music, we would do, there'd be like 100 tracks on this song. And this, it was really just like, okay, let's just get the actual instruments, the drums, the bass, the vocals, and the guitars perfect, and then we won't need to have all those.
And what's cool, too, when you have a drummer that's pushing, what it does to the listener, they don't realize it, but it creates this almost anxiety tension because you're slightly ahead of where you should be, and you can't put your finger on it. You're like, why is this song pushing me forward? And it creates speed just within the track. Yeah, that's great. As a music producer, how do you translate a director or studio's notes into musical changes without losing the original energy of the song?
I would give a lot of credit to Apple and Joe on that, in that they didn't give us that many notes. And I think the reason why this song came together so quickly was because we were all so inspired by seeing the movie. We all saw screeners. We all left the theater with, if you guys have seen the movie, with this crazy sense of adrenaline and like, oh my God, that was so cool. And we didn't have notes from the studio saying, okay, it's got to be this and it has to be this and you've got to do it at this tempo and blah, blah, blah. That would have just killed the creativity. They just gave us free rein and said, just go and do it. Now, when we were doing it, I think there was a couple production notes. I think they said turn down the crashes in the drums, and it was very little things, but I think the reason why it worked so well and why they got something that they loved and it just worked in the film so immediately was that we didn't have those notes going in, and then it just was able to happen easier.
That's awesome. From your perspective, how do you balance a song that needs to serve both a film and the charts?
I think Ed said it really well. The second you start thinking about both, you're screwing yourself.
Also, I don't think this song will ever, but it wasn't a chart hit, and I don't think it ever needs to be a chart hit. But what I will say is where was I the other day? I was at the New York Rangers ice hockey game, and this song played as their intro as they came out, and I was like, cool. I mean, that's
kind of where it makes sense, isn't it?
It's a sports song.
Yeah,
so it's not a song that's made to be a Hot 100 hit. It's a song that's made, they use this as the podium song for F1 now. When people win, this is the podium song. So for us, it's kind of like proof of concept is it being used in the world. It's kind of cool seeing ice hockey players sort of come out, and it was cool.
That's awesome. I think that's perfect.
Should we go through the session?
Do we? Yeah, let's go into the session.
Do we have time? Cool.
Yeah, we've got time.
I think it's cool to trace the journey of how it was made because Ed's process is so singular. So I have the original demo that we walked away with the first time we ever wrote it. So Ed, me, and John Mayer wrote the song together. And who's better to call when you need some guitar than John Mayer? So again, speaking to the inspiration that the movie gave us, we all came in so inspired. The first thing that John played on his guitar was the riff that you hear in the song.
I also think John has a toolbox of all of these riffs that he's never used before, that he doesn't, because John is an incredible guitarist, but he doesn't really ever go down the singular note rock riff thing. He's very much, he goes down his own route. So the first thing he played, we were like, that's absolutely perfect, but I feel like he could have played 17 other ones that would have been
100%.
just as perfect.
And then the first thing that you sang, which I'll play right now, was you can hear the sketch of what the words become. So Ed writes very phonetically and kind of just like whatever comes to his head, which I think is probably the best way to write because you're just not overthinking yourself at all. Whatever comes to his head is what comes out. So here's the first time I put a kick drum. This is the first thing John Mayer played on guitar. The first thing Ed sang is this. So you can fully hear the fly through the city. You can hear, I mean, some of those lyrics stayed. Then we get to the hook. Hallelujah. Cool. That's so cool to me to hear because that's the first thing he's saying.
One take.
One take. So we take that home, and Ed goes back to London. I'm in LA, and we have a plan to write lyrics together. And it's 8 hours ahead over there, 10 hours, whatever. And we have a plan to do it at 9 a.m., so I wake up at 8:30, and I have a text from Ed saying I already did it. So we just did it in the car. And then we got on FaceTime, and we changed some stuff, and we honed it in, did another draft. But you're the quickest writer.
Do you know what? It was I was on a mate's bachelor party, and we were driving somewhere, and it was like an hour drive, and I was like, I might as well do it now. No one here, is anyone here British? So it was on the way to Butlins. Yeah. Butlins is like a really, really budget holiday resort where we did the bachelor party, and I dressed up as a wizard. So...
As you do.
Okay,
As
so
you
then...
do, but it must be the only song ever in a
Written by a
massive
wizard?
movie that was written on the way to Butlins. I hope, anyway.
By a wizard.
You got to go to Butlins, mate. It's fucking lit.
Wait, what part?
There's like 3 Butlins in England. It's like you can go 60 quid, you get a room, all you can drink, and they play like tribute bands and shit. It's fucking great.
Amazing.
Which honestly makes it even more impressive because I guess I was FaceTiming you when you were hungover and you were singing "Flying Through the City" like full tilt.
Totally.
So we FaceTime, you sing it to me, you sing it, and you send me the vocals. And Ed also, we made an album together. The first time Ed sings anything is what's on the record. So there's been times where I've said, "Can you do that vocal again?" He's like, "Why? I just did it." And so this is the demo vocals, which are also the real vocals, where we filled in the lyrics.
Flying through the city with the speakers up loud, speeding by with the top down. Fast lane living till they put me in the ground, and I don't wanna stop now. I'll be gone with the click of a finger. Say the word, give a call, I'll be coming back around. Flying through the city, I got God on my side, but the real wood is not far. Push to the limit, I'll be running all night, getting tailed by a cop car. Pull away, wind blowing, now I'm cruising. Put the past in the past, and a day is coming. We can ride 4 wheels, you and I. Gotta get out of here. My savior.
Very cool to me. Very cool to me.
Awesome.
And it's cool because to me, and Ryan and Ed know this better than anyone, the mark of a great song and something that works is when the chorus explodes without all the production. So that was still just a kick drum, but as soon as you hit the hollow leelas, you really feel the hook. So we take that, and I'll show, before I even play the whole thing, I think it's cool to show that the guitar was John's first take doing it. we tried to replay it. He got all this fancy gear and this fancy guitars and all this stuff.
Never works.
Never works.
Never fucking works.
We tried for a couple days to get the guitar again. We could never get anything close to the sound. So we kept the original sound. And what's cool to me is that you can hear Ed's vocal bleeding back from the original demo in this. So I'll solo the guitar. And that's just cool personality to me.
Henson?
This was
Studios?
this was at Henson, which is now Chaplin.
Chaplin Studios now.
That's right, Chaplin.
Yeah,
Yeah, he rebranded it. That's great. Back to the OG.
So we've got all those layers, and then one day we get to call Dave Grohl and Pino Palladino into the studio.
I was kind of unaware of this, by the way. I just sort of woke up one morning and Blake was like, by the way, Dave Grohl's jumped on the song. I was like, cool. Great.
And then it comes alive. I'll just play. Yeah, I'll play going into the hook.
Flying through the city with the speakers up loud, speeding by with the top down. Fast lane living till they put me in the ground, and I don't wanna stop now. I'll be gone with the click of a finger. Say the word, give a cool, I'll be coming back around.
What I
That's
love
a
about
fucking band.
what I love about this song is it's only 3 instruments, so it's only bass, drums, and guitar, but it sounds massive.
What I'll also say, and this is actually perfect that you're sitting next to us, is there was actually a studio note that I forgot about, which was we send the studio the song with just the raw live drums, Dave Grohl. And we, on the soundtrack, have to sit next to pop songs that you wrote. Ryan wrote incredible songs for the movie. He wrote Just Keep Watching with Tate McRae and Lose My Mind with Don Toliver and Doja Cat. And Ryan's production is too damn good, and his drums were hitting too damn hard that our drums next to his couldn't stand up. Because, live drums now are funny. Sometimes you gotta throw some samples under them. You gotta do some voodoo magic to make them be able to stand next to some Ryan Tedder drums.
Probably like 95% of the stuff that you think is live drums, no matter how well it hits, there's still some support underneath it. And
so that was our one studio note. So you can hear, here, I'll solo just the drums by themselves. So this is pure Dave Grohl. Unbelievable drum sound. If we're talking about getting granular, I'll say that. Okay, so those sound great. But then when we add the samples, now you feel it in your chest. Now you really feel it.
But tell them what a pain in the ass it is. When you're not playing on when you have a drummer that's not playing on the grid, like a live drummer, and that defines the record, but you realize it doesn't hit hard enough, you have to go through every single second of that song, lining up the samples so it's humanly perfect, and there's no flamming or weird sounds.
And I didn't copy and paste anything
Not
because
one.
it's not timed at all. So every single kick and every single snare needs to be lined up to each. It took me a day. It took me a full day, and it's mind-numbing work because you're just dragging samples perfectly on, but obviously so worth it.
Yeah.
So that's the drums. Let's see if
I
there's
have
anything else.
I have a question for Ed real quick about because I know your voice really, really well, and you have so many tones that you can do, like the lightest, like sing you to sleep tone and whatever, but that, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know any other song where you've pushed it that hard on a vocal. You're tapping into your rock, like, that's straining. And is that the hardest you've sang on a record? Because it just sounds like it is.
I did a song with Bruno and Chris Stapleton that is similar, that is kind of in the same pocket. It's a kind of grit that I would use more in a live show, I'd say. But if you were to sing 17 versions of this song in a live show, your voice would be gone for like a month. Like what? Just vocaling this song, my voice was gone for like a week. Yeah, it's a lot. You definitely realize why all these like massive rock singers, after about like 10, 12 years of touring, the voice changes, because you're really, really pushing. Yeah.
Let's play those vocals a little bit solo.
Past a new day is coming. Hallelujah. We can ride 4 wheels, you and I. Gotta get out of here. Hallelujah. My Savior. Hallelujah. We can fly out of this burning fire. Just take me anywhere. Hallelujah. My Savior. Pedal down and drive.
Does all of his own harmonies, makes it easy on everyone. I thought that's just so cool to me. We can look at, I'm trying to think of what else we have in this. I mean,
why don't you go to the end bit when John was doing all the mad guitar stuff with the end?
So when we were working on the production, I remember it's kind of the same chords the entire time, and it really stays on the one chord the whole time. And John, at about midnight, sent me a voice memo saying, dude, I've got this idea. What if we change the chords under the main riff to make it really, there's a lot of oneness. It really feels like it's just on the tonic chord. I think if we change the chord under, it'll give a full new moment. So let's play that moment first, and then I'll solo some stuff after that.
Try, pedal down and drive. Just drive. Pedal down and drive. Just drive. Pedal down and drive.
So that moment rocks to me because it's towards the end of the song, and you kind of think you know everything about it, and you kind of think you understand it, and then you get flipped on your head, and you're like, whoa, where are we now?
It's also a smart trick. I won't call it a trick. It's just smart music in that when you have songs that have the same 4 chords, and a lot of pop, probably 75, 80% of the number ones in the last 30 years have 4 chords. But I know Max does this a lot too. You get, and Kirsten and myself, all of us, you get to that final chorus, and if you ever feel a moment like you're slightly getting worn on the chords, you do that scene change, and a lot of the listener can't explain why. It just feels like, well, something got lifted, and it's those new voicings. And of course, John's a genius, so he's like, okay, watch this.
That was a really cool call. And again, let's show this little candy that we added. Again, to our crazy attention to detail on matching this to the film, we wanted to have some noises that sounded like actual F1 cars screeching. And in kind of like a Eddie Van Halen-ish way, John did some dive bombs on the guitar that to me sound like cars screeching. So this is... It's cool because it just adds a little bit of just a little bit of candy. That's so cool. It's just those little details like here it sounds like a car slowing down. It's all these little things where we can how much fun can we have with this? How much can we get away? Let's do some car sounds in it. Why not?
Yeah, this is I don't think I got to hear this record till it was the very end. I saw different scenes from the movie like we all did back in December, I think it was last year. And I knew that they were gunning for that scene. And I remember for that particular scene, I was like, who's doing it? I knew I was focused on other stuff, and I didn't know till the last minute that it was you. And then I was like, oh, I have to hear this, because it was so out of the box for you, and you fucking crushed it.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, guys, is there anything else in the session we want to cover? Is there anything else specifically? I don't know how much time we have left. How much time do we have?
5 minutes.
5 minutos. Do we
5
take
minutes.
a
Okay,
couple
cool.
questions,
Yeah,
or do
why
we
not?
want to keep going on the song?
Yeah, I'm good.
Let's do some questions.
Let's do some questions.
Yeah.
I saw you first. Ladies first.
I just wanted to ask, when you were, oh, thank you. just wanted to ask, when you were covering the drums, Dave's drums, with samples, did you ever think of copying them to another track and EQing or filtering them differently so you didn't have to line them up? You could treat them with different processing and have them line up perfectly without having to line up samples. It's just a housekeeping kind of question.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you mean in order to get them to hit harder?
Yes, when you were saying you took the original drum tracks and copied or had to manipulate samples to give them that extra oomph.
She means
could you-
vocal lining the drums, basically.
Well, I mean, just duplicating the drums. I mean, you had individual mics, say, on his
Sure.
kick,
Oh, I
right?
know what you mean now.
I know
You
you
know
mean.
what I mean? So if you took them, they would match perfectly. But if you filtered and EQ'd them differently,
You get phase. The first thing that would happen is you get phasing if you duplicated them, and you would have to sound replace. And I know you can do that. You can copy, duplicate the drums,
Yeah.
and then sound replace all of the samples or all of those drums or EQ them. But the biggest issue you run into is the moment you copy it, you're gonna have phasing issues. It'll just sound like this weird stereo effect.
Okay.
There is a way to do it. He's in Pro Tools. I'm in Pro Tools.
yeah, me too. But
My brothers in Christ who do Logic
yeah,
do that shit all the time, and they do it so quick, and I'm fascinated, and then I'm like, fuck that. No
Okay.
offense. I love Logic. I'm just not as
Okay.
good at it.
Okay.
But you can do that. What he did, though, to my experience, I did a song.
I mean, I don't disagree with the outcome. I'm just
For sure.
saying, if spending time to,
I had to do the same thing on another song 7 years ago, Jonas Brothers' Sucker. I went through the exact same thing that he did.
Yeah.
It took me an entire day.
yeah.
We like the pain.
Well, I'm not against pain. I'm just saying.
We like we're sadists.
I saw it a different way, so
For
thank
sure.
you. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I read you drove an F1 car. Was that before or after you wrote the song?
I didn't actually drive an F1 car. I got driven with George Russell, and it was one of the most terrifying things in my life. Not because I didn't trust him as a driver. It's just we're going around the track at like 170 miles an hour, and he didn't tell me at the same time they'd I don't know, tourists had bought time on the track with like normal Honda cars, and they're sort of driving really slowly. So we're whizzing around, and there'll just be a tourist kind of driving like this, and we'll have to kind of go out of the way. It was, yeah, pretty terrifying. So it was around the same time. When was it? I think, no, that was when I met Jerry for the first time, and he told me to work on the movie. That would have been like 2024 or 2023. How long were you filming this movie for? Apple?
9 years.
Yeah, long time. Anyway, I met Jerry like 3 years beforehand. But yeah, that was then.
Last question.
Hi. Hey, Ed. My name is Orange, and I have a question. In the future, would you ever try to learn ASL for a song?
Yeah, do you know what I had? My second ever music video was an ASL. It's a song called You Need Me, I Don't Need You, and it is, the whole video is ASL. So I think if I was to ever learn it, I'd probably have to learn that song first.
Oh, can you sign your name?
No, do you want to show me?
This is an
Just
E.
that?
This is an E,
Yeah? And then that.
and then that's a D. And then you can put it on your chest like that.
So
you're Ed.
ED. Is it? I like that.
By the way, can I
Love you, man. Thank you. That's fucking great.
can I say that might be my most favorite name of anyone I've ever heard? His name is Orange. You have the coolest name I've ever heard. Well, I mean, it seems naturally, right? So would I. Is that it? Are we out of time?
We're out of time.
All right,
thank
guys.
you, everyone,
Thank you
for your
guys so
time.
much
Thank
for
you.
having us.